feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me.
There are stories that begin with a bang. And there are stories like his that begin again in a breath. No announcement. No teaser. Just the quiet reshuffling of the wind. Like a man walking through the corners of memory barefoot, leaving echoes instead of footprints. And in the silence they left behind, it wasn't emptiness we found. It was Jin. Not as the center, but as the narrator. Not the star of the scene, but the only one who still knows the full script. You won't find them, but you'll feel them. They were always like this, Jin says one afternoon in a small cafe no one remembers opening. He stirs his coffee as if it were a memory he's trying not to spill. Taehyung disappears like smoke that still smells like him. Jungkook stays behind, chasing the shadow like it's made of music. And you believe him. Because if there's anyone who can speak about silence and not be swallowed by it, it's Jin. The oldest. The one who taught them how to carry grief inside a joke and turn pain into harmony. The song Taehyung never wrote, but Jungkook still sings. Jungkook posted again. Not a photo. Not a video. Just a screen of static. You'd scroll past it if not for the sound. The soft strum of a guitar slightly out of tune. Like a lullaby trying to remember its lyrics. In the corner a candle flickered. And though no names were spoken, the flame bent as if bowing to someone who wasn't there. Jin saw it too. I taught them how to light those candles, he smiles. But I never taught them how to put them out. Somewhere between Vienna and a vow. A gallery in Austria unveiled a painting this week. No title, no artist. It's just two silhouettes. One standing still, eyes closed. The other blurry as if in motion, leaving. Between them a violin string. Pulled tight. Not yet played. Fans lined up without asking. Not to take selfies. But to leave letters. One simply said, he never promised to stay. But he never truly left either. Jin holds the map, even if he won't follow it. Do you know where they are now? Someone asked him during a fan call. He laughed. If I told you, it wouldn't be them anymore. He wasn't being cryptic. He was being kind. Because some stories need space to grow between the lines, not inside them. Taehyung is where the world forgets to rush. Jungkook is where it forgets to sleep. And I'm where they send their postcards even if they never sign them. In the studio that smells like rain. Sources say Jin booked a studio in Busan last week. He didn't bring a producer. He didn't bring lyrics. Just a box of tapes Taehyung once left behind, and a hoodie Jungkook forgot in 2018. What he recorded, no one knows. But the engineer cried anyway. He said it sounded like missing someone you never stopped loving, even after they became missed. The industry called it a hiatus. Jin calls it breathing. I told them once, Jin shares, don't run from the silence. That's where your real voice hides. And Taehyung listened. He paints now. Not canvases but skies. With sunsets that feel like confessions. With clouds that know your secrets. And Jungkook? He stopped asking when Taehyung would come back. Because he realized. Taehyung never left. He just changed languages. When the world forgot how to whisper, Jin remembered. Florence. Jeju. Iceland. Kyoto. They keep appearing. Places that feel like postcards written in invisible ink. And Jin is the one reading them aloud. Not to explain, but to remind. That love doesn't always arrive in the shape of a comeback. Sometimes it arrives as a napkin sketch left in Portugal. Sometimes it hums in the background of a film no one's ready for yet. Sometimes it lives in a live stream where Jungkook says nothing. But his piano plays everything. A final message? Or just the beginning? There's talk now. Of a book. Not by Jungkook. Not by Taehyung. By Jin. One that doesn't explain them. But holds space for them. Tentatively titled. The silence between two notes that still know each other's name. Jin won't confirm it. But he smiles that half smile, the one he wore when sending them off to the world, knowing they'd never really be lost. This was never just about music. It was always about memory. And presence. And people who still write each other's names in the margins of things meant to be public. So if you see Jungkook looking out the window again, don't ask him who he's thinking about. And if Taehyung disappears from Instagram again, don't wonder where he's gone. Instead, ask yourself, What color did the sky turn today when I thought of him? What silence grew louder when I missed nothing but still felt everything? And if you still don't understand, listen to Jin. Because he's not telling the story. He's holding the space where the story writes itself.
That's it, the end of the song. Next time you'll sing along. Trust me, there's nothing wrong. I just need to carry on, cause society's a myth.
There's a reason why some songs never chart. They were never meant to. They were meant to be played once in a room no one remembers. For someone who left before the chorus even began. That's how it's always been with Taehyung and Jungkook. And Jin? He's the room. He's the silence between them. He's the soft keeper of sounds that were never meant to be loud. The video that never uploaded. At 2:17 a.m. Jungkook went live, then didn't. The screen stayed black. But the notifications flooded in anyway. And the comments read like poetry. We heard you without sound. Sometimes the absence is the presence. He must be near. That kind of silence only happens when he's watching too. And somewhere, maybe in an airport, no one notices. Taehyung smiled at his phone, then turned it off again. Because some responses don't need replies. Just resonance. Jin still talks to the moon on their behalf. Last night he stepped outside his home barefoot on warm concrete. He looked up and said, "They're okay, aren't they?" And though no one answered, a meteor blinked across the sky as if to say, "They're just becoming new constellations." He chuckled. They were always meant for this, you know. To live in hearts, not headlines. Jungkook bought a painting, but no one knows why. A fan spotted him leaving a Seoul antique shop with a canvas wrapped in brown paper. No paparazzi. No guards. Just him. And the sound of tape pulling from cardboard. The shopkeeper said he never asked for a price. He just looked at the painting, whispered, "It looks like him," and left a Polaroid on the counter. 2 chairs facing the sea, one still warm. Taehyung is writing an album, but without music. Jin knows. He won't admit how. But there's a smile on his face that gives it away. They're not songs, he says. They're moments. Each track begins with a place. Track 1, the library where my name faded. Track 4, the streetlight that forgot me. Track 7, Jungkook, as remembered by silence. And none of it sounds like sound. Just pages turning. Waves breaking. Wind deciding to stay. The photo that shouldn't exist. It surfaced briefly before being deleted. A blurry shot, 3 figures at dusk, backs turned. One tall. One slightly shorter. And one in the middle, holding both their hands like someone anchoring ghosts. Fans speculated. Then stopped. Because some images aren't for analysis. They're for altar building. And somewhere Jin probably framed it. Not for nostalgia. But for proof. That once they stood still together. Even when the world kept moving. Jin's voice memo, "Don't wait. Just feel." He released a voice memo on Weverse. Not an update. Not an announcement. Just this. Some love doesn't ask to be followed. It asks to be trusted. If they feel far, look closer. Maybe they're the wind against your curtain. Or the pause between 2 sentences you couldn't finish. Taehyung is still here. Jungkook still sings for him. And I keep the door unlocked. Just in case either forgets their keys. The fandom is evolving into memory keepers. They don't wait for charts now. They wait for signs. A leaf falling a little slower. A note in the mail with no return address. A piano melody that sounds like missing someone you've never met. They meet in quiet cafes and exchange songs no one else hears. They wear lavender not as merch, but as language. And when someone asks, "Do you still follow them?" they say, "I don't follow. I walk beside." The world will ask, "Where is Taehyung?" And Jin, ever the quiet oracle, will answer. He is where heartbreak learns how to sing. He is in Jungkook's softer vowels. He is in my laughter that pauses just slightly longer than it used to. And when they ask, "But will he return?" Jin will shrug. He never left. You just learned to find him somewhere deeper. A final performance that never happened and never needed to. There are whispers.